Quranic and Islamic calligraphies derived from Kufic calligraphy and reached to souls, Muhaqqaq, Roga and Rayhan, Naskh, and Nastali during history. From that time onward, the literary miracle of the Quran intervened with artistic manifestation, which resulted in the completion of the magnificence and glory of divine words, a unique and sacred art which has a hand in the sky and a foot on the earth. This art is emblematic of the divinity, which is considered the external manifestation of internal spirituality. The history and changes of calligraphy is recalled in the divine words and an introduction to the precious Quran in souls, which is adorned by intricate embellishments. About 18 years ago, a young man came to us and proposed to begin a Quran project. It was very interesting for us to make everything in a special handmade and original style. We were told that there were handmade papers on which the writing was to be recorded. We filigreed them with gold powder. After filigreen, we sent it to Mr. Mahroui, and he started to write the Quran. The technical characteristics of this Quran are as follows. It is closer to Qubar than to the bigger level. The width of this line is 1 centimeter and 3 millimeters, and pages are 25 lines. Writing souls in this width of line, which is 1 centimeter and 3 millimeters, is a very difficult task. The most difficult and stressful condition was when I made a mistake in the last line. I had to put the whole page aside. I wrote the body of calligraphy, then I punctuated it, and at the end I did the i'rab again. The fourth phase was adornment, which means that I worked on every line for 4 times to finish. Now, suppose that every page of the Quran, which has 25 lines, is multiplied by 4, which means that I wrote every page 100 times. The number of the Quran pages I wrote was 175 pages, 42 by 58 centimeters. The writing of the Quran took 7 years to be finished. I used arabesque khatai form between the verses. It is a kind of grip arabesque I made with gold, and I brushed up the design. Grip arabesque is completely a Persian pattern, and it symbolizes unity. We used grip arabesque, which was gold color, for filling the spaces between verses, and also for writing Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God. Then we drew the grip arabesque. After this phase, it was time to design the blank papers of the back pages, I used a Shamsa motif, sun motif, which is made up of 16 parts of a bergamot. This bergamot is completely arabesque. Once these 16 parts come together, it will be a Shamsa. Shamsa is the symbol of sun, and it is completed by the great names of God. After Shamsa, it is time to make the margins and illuminations of 176 pages, which are unique in its kind, because 176 different illuminated designs have been drawn. This is the only Quran which has different illuminated designs for each of 176 pages. We passed the project to Dr. Majide Sadiqzadeh. Generally, according to the system formed during the centuries, the opening page of such a project should be extensive. In order to move the designing phase to the performing phase, we have to undergo an intermediary phase, which is moving on to the tracing paper. We can say that a person who wants to perform this part, he has to do the margining first, and in this part he will transfer the patterns. Where there is a symmetry, there is no need for it to appear in the first design. Then it will be transferred to the tracing paper symmetrically, and finally it will come to the performing phase. There are adornments on the curtain of Kaaba and on the entering door, and the circle forms at the bottom. This part is designed with new ideas, and colors are applied step by step and harmoniously. Finally, there is a movement from the bottom to the top, which has the meaningful dimension. Well, after the opening page and those decorative pages, the Quran begins with two first pages. Almost all precious Qurans, as far as art concerns, have two extensive opening pages, and we specially considered this matter and this Quran too. In one of the pages, we did not use flowers at all because of the special number of 63, which associates with the death of Muhammad. Might peace be upon him. And we created a gloomy mood in the colors employed. In performing and implementing pattern, we considered the classic style as the base and onset. This style underwent a revolutionary path gradually to reach the final phase of the Quran. The summit phase of this project, according to the implementation of designs, is on the asymmetrical conditions which can be associated with the world of relativism, according to the monotheistic values, which have not been taken into account. I consider such ideas. It takes 3 years to finish this surface with tools as thin as a needle and a hammer. This loop shape while having spiral and up and down design, is finished at the same place. This pattern is based on the verse, there is one and there is not but him, and wahdahu la ilaha illahu. This rahla that you see is rahla of Quran, and they brought here for engraving. One of the verses of Surah Araf has been chosen, and it is going to be finished. We heat this, then we burn the tar, and next we clean it by acid sulfuric. When it becomes polished, we smooth it, and finally we do the smearing work. The characteristic of this work is that about 20 great names are incised inside these stars. The form of the cover is also like a book. A frame has been designed for this Munificent Qur'an, which has two parts. One is underlined part, including 12 parts, which is totally covered by brilliant. It is about 1,000 pieces of brilliant, whose weight is 50 carat, and the quality G color VVS. The second part is the upper part, which is made up of platinum, and the phrase Al-Quran al-Karim has been written in soles, and it is incised by the high-quality Ceylon sapphire. The sapphire weighs about 38.5 carat. The setting process took 4 months, and it is an extraordinary one in its kind. To prevent any inaccuracy and imprecision in writing and i'rab of this Quran, Ayatollah Haj Muhammad Safi corrected and verified the text. The writing of this magnificent Quran established in man's civilization a long historical era called Islamic arts, and brought it to the lofty position it deserved.